Hey everybody, it's Charlie from DM Moto, and when I first got behind the wheel of a Ram 1500 with the new Hurricane inline 6 engine, it was, I believe, 2 weeks after my first daughter was born last spring, and my mind wasn't necessarily fully locked in to making reviews on pickup trucks. That was the Rebel model, and I did overall like the truck. I had a few frustrations, as I do with any vehicle, but that powertrain really was nice. So here we are back revisiting a 2026 model in the tungsten trim. This is the most expensive Ram you could buy. The one you're looking at right here in this dark forest green color, about $94,000. And the main reason we got into this truck was to review the top-level 23-speaker Klipsch reference audio system. So if you do want to see that, check the link below for our full review over on DM Sound. But it's also a great opportunity to get into the top-level 1500 Ram and see what is worth and is not worth $90,000+ per 1500 series truck. And this is also kind of cool because a few months ago, I had the opportunity to spend extended time in the opposite end of the spectrum, about a $54,000 Ram Bighorn. That one, despite being a lot less expensive, had the new V8 Hemi. Well, new old. It was there for a long time, then gone, and then back. This one, obviously more expensive and significantly more powerful with the high output inline 6. But is it worth spending $90,000 on your Ram 1500? Let's talk about it. I've been spending the last week with the truck, and in order to keep it clean, I've had a set of last fit liners here in the cab. So these are high quality TPU 3D measured laser cut floor liners here from Last Fit. We put them in just about all of our vehicles, and this tungsten level Ram 1500 came with some nice carpeted mats. But if you're going to be using your truck for anything that might get it remotely dirty, you're not going to want carpet. You're going to want some sort of nicer rubber material like this. These Last Fit mats are great because they go nicely under the seats in both directions. So if you got people's feet coming in here with snow, sleet, slush, mud, dirt, sand, any of that, it can be very nice and easy to pull these out. Now, in order to show that I am not 100% a shill for these mats in this company, I will admit that I don't like that these ones are not as deeply weld as some of the other mats we've seen. Some of the other floor mats from some of the other brands, or from Last Fit, but for the other brand cars, have a little bit more of a well to them. So if you got kind of water going back and forth, it holds it a little bit better. But I still don't think that's a deal breaker, because we do still have a little bit of a lip. It comes out nicely over here to somewhat protect your little Ram door sill there. And then if we come up into the front, which, look how wide these doors open, it's kind of cool. You can see the mats lock down into the factory positions, go nicely up under both pedals and under the dead pedal. So if you've got boots or anything like that, it's going to help keep it clean there as well. Goes nicely underneath. Also a little truck logo, that's cool. And then we've got them underneath my backpack over there on the passenger side. Very reasonably priced, and I can get you even more money off using the code DM Moto. So check the link below for a set of Last Fit liners. Big shout out to them for sponsoring the video. So let's get right on into my pros. And the very first one is the styling. I think the Ram 1500 is the most handsome full-size truck on the market today. I could see how you might like certain trims of other brands. I liked the pre-facelift Sierra quite a bit as well. Didn't really care for the Silverado. But the Ram strikes a very mature styling that a lot of the other trucks don't have with their kind of robot, sort of futuristic, overly aggressive looks. For being a luxury truck, I think this Ram is very nice. Lots of chrome, attractive headlights, good LED elements, and along with the styling, I also really appreciate that Ram doesn't charge you an arm, leg, and a half to get different colors on your truck. This one has this beautiful green. I love trucks in green. $250 for this paint. So despite the truck being nearly 6 figures, you don't have to spend that much more to get a color. The Silverado EV that we had last week had a $4,000 matte paint job on it. So the Silverado would have been cheaper than this truck if it weren't for that stupid paint. So I appreciate that nearly all of the colors on the Ram are a $295 upgrade. And then I think there's one special white that costs $1,000, but still relatively reasonable. And again, coming into the back, I think a very nice evolution of the Ram styling. Everything looks good. I mean, this Ram logo is a bit gawping, but I mean, what truck doesn't have a giant brand logo in the tailgate these days? So yeah, the wheels, the design, everything inside and out, I think look great. Next pro, coming on into the interior, which again, along with that styling, I think the interior is very handsome as well with cross-stitching, nice leathers all around. This is going to sound subtle, but I mentioned it in the Rebel review, so I got to mention it in here. I love the rotary shifter, and I'm glad that Ram has stuck with it despite all the joke and criticism on Instagram. Very, very straightforward and a minimalist type of layout. It's very easy to hop on in here, start your truck, twist it into drive, and head out. And unlike something like our Maverick, the shifter's not down here, so even though that was a rotary knob too, it still took up space. It could have been a normal style shifter. At least this one is up away, allowing this big open area for cup holders, storage, wireless device charger, etc. And then same thing with the four-wheel drive controls. Two-wheel drive, 4 auto, 4 high, and 4 low. Your axle lock, everything right here. And even for those people who like to shut off their automatic stop-start right away, you could easily shift into drive, press that button all in one swift motion. Trust me, living with the knob is easy, and it's a very efficient way to have your shifter. You don't need a big area to take up shifters anymore. I will say I do still like a column shifter, but I also appreciate the knob. Next pro is the audio system. Like I said, this has the 23 speaker Klipsch reference audio system. I don't love the tuning on it. It's very, very bass heavy, but I gotta give credit where credit is due. This is the best sounding full-size truck's audio system right now. So if you really, really care about that, and money is no object for you, for your full-size truck, get this one, dial the bass down a little bit in the infotainment system. You got a great sound system. Next pro, let's start it up. It's the engine. This high output, and even the non-high output, even just the standard Hurricane twin turbocharged inline 6 is a fantastic engine. And I've driven it in the Charger. I've driven it now twice here in the Ram. I really do like it. It's so butter smooth and big time powerful. And when you're just daily driving a truck like this, it's really nice. Now, full disclosure, I admit it doesn't sound as good as the Hemi V8. Nathan and I had that Ram Bighorn earlier this year, and it was fun listening to that engine. But once you get over that and you're just driving this truck, you're making phone calls, you're going about your commute, you're listening to your podcast and everything, the fact that you've got this just nice, smooth, confident, powerful engine that you barely feel turning on or off with stop start, you barely feel revving up because it's such a nicely balanced inline 6. Listen. Woohoo! I mean, this thing is strong, it's powerful, it pulls nice. It's a great luxury truck motor, and it might be one of my favorites on the new truck market right now. It's hard to argue with the power figures. Not only that, but you got the great 8-speed automatic as opposed to the problematic 10 speeds in the GMs and the Fords. And then obviously, Toyota's got their problems with the twin turbo V6. So this is actually shaping up to be one of the more reliable and enjoyable truck engines out there on the market. So as much as I like the sound of the V8 Hemi, I'd be picking this Hurricane. I really like it. The only downside, obviously, with this high output one is you got to put premium fuel in here. The last pro is the air suspension. Whether it's going to be a luxury truck like this Tungsten or one of the more reasonably spec'd and priced models, it's great to be able to have the ability to raise the truck up for when you're doing off-roading or you just want to look cool or something like that, and then drop it down to get a little bit better fuel economy and handling when you're in those environments and situations. I've towed it quite a bit with the Ram 1500s, and it's cool that you can actually drop the truck down, get your trailer right over the ball, and then raise the truck up with the air suspension. You don't even need to crank your trailer up, it just raises right into the ball. So a lot of added functionality with that air suspension. I quite like that. Coming back here static for my cons, and we're right back here in the truck. I'm going to turn it on and not get blasted by music there. This infotainment system. I guess I'm going to have to close the door as well because it's beeping at us. It's still beeping at us. I have not enjoyed this vertical full-size screen layout in the Rams since they launched it. I think it was way back in something like 2018. I've been using this system, still haven't cared for it then, still don't care for it now. Look how small my phone projection is. This is Android Auto. I don't think Apple CarPlay would be any bigger, but just to prove a point, I will double check to confirm that. So many other screens that, yes, I still don't think vertical is the best way to go, but if you insist on having a vertical screen layout, at least give full screen for phone projection. Now, see, I have to take it back. CarPlay looks how it should. This is proper. It's taken up the entire screen, so if I go home, now look at that. So now why isn't Android Auto full screen? Why are you shafting us Android users who don't want to use iOS for whatever reason you have? This is how it should look. So I am glad I checked. I'm glad I verified that it is different, but very frustrating that when you want to use Android Auto, it only takes up half the screen. Either way, I still preferred the smaller screen in this truck with real physical controls in the middle for climate. This has some climate controls right here. You can at least do clicking for temperature and fan and AC on and off and everything. Still not as good though as the other trucks that give you a full suite of physical climate controls in there while still having a nice large screen. Speaking of screens, the next con is the passenger screen. This is the 4th Stellantis product, I believe now, that I've had with the passenger screen. Not one time, even including twice when I took long road trips with these cars. Actually 3 times. No, yeah, two long road trips with these cars. Not once did the passenger use the passenger screen. Because everybody's got a device with them. Everybody's got a phone or a tablet with the information and content that they actually want to use and see. There's only 2 reasons that brands are actually adding these screens. One, other people are doing it. So if one brand has it, another brand has to have it so that they look relevant on paper. 2, they want you to pay for services. They'd rather you pay for a data connection so that you can watch YouTube on here or something like that, or your kid's in the passenger screen and they say, hey, I want to use this, and so you'll pay them monthly. It's another way to suck money out of your pockets monthly, even after you've already spent money at the dealership. If they really wanted this to be usable, why is it there instead of here? The rear kids are the ones who could actually use a screen in the back, like the Teslas. That is an actual useful thing where maybe kids don't have a smartphone, maybe they don't have a tablet, or maybe you want to be able to control what they're watching from the front here if you're a parent. That is a dumb screen. It's a waste of money. It loses a cargo compartment. It's a function and a feature that I absolutely hate in new cars, and I cannot wait for that trend to disappear. Next con. Now that I'm all worked up, this truck is veneer. And what do I mean by that? There are certain parts that are very nice. Sure, the steering wheel feels good. You've got a fancy metal shift rotor here. You've got your VIN stamped into the center armrest. But then you've got elements like this. Cheap, poorly cut, poorly aligned plastics being wrapped in a piece of leather. Or rear windows that don't automatically go down or up. You only get auto windows in the front. This truck is still a basic Ram 1500 that's just dolled up to be more expensive so that Ram can charge you more money that you can finance it for longer. I actually preferred being in the interior of the Ram Bighorn that Nathan and I took up north. It was a simple, honest, straightforward truck. Don't get me wrong, I love a proper luxury vehicle. When I get something like a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or even a BMW 7 Series, something like that, a car that is truly built like a proper luxury vehicle, that's great. I respect and appreciate that. This truck feels like a lie. There are so many elements to it that I'm like, okay, I understand that this is built on the same assembly line as the basic tradesman trucks. If I spent money on this, I would feel like I got gypped for most of the time that I owned this vehicle. And I'm sorry, Ram. It's true. And I know, again, every truck's got to have a luxury component now. You know, you got the High Country, you got the Denali Ultimate, you got the Limited F-150, and now you got the Capstone from Toyota. The only brands that do it somewhat properly to me, if I'm giving my rankings of premium 1500 series trucks, are the F-150s, the Limited, and then the Denali Ultimate. Everything other than that feels like you're getting shorted. And hate to say it, but I would not spend 90 grand on this truck, absolutely. And I'm not the only one. You can see, if you go on right now and look up prices for these, what dealers are actually listing them for, they're way down in the 70s. So $90,000 for this is absolutely ridiculous. I actually kind of just ended up combining 2 cons into one right there, because one of the cons was explicitly just the price, and the other one was the fakeness to this and the veneer in here. The last con out here on the road is the exhaust note. I do like this engine. However, this is not how I want my truck to sound. It sounds kind of cool for something like a 3 Series. But even the EcoBoost F-150s, they've made it kind of sound cool and a little bit truck-like, and I'm sure some of that is being piped in, but either way, it's an experience that is kind of like, okay, it's kind of cool. Whereas here in the inline six, it definitely doesn't sound like a truck motor. And trust me, when you're spending almost 6 figures on a truck, you want it to sound like a truck. It's one of the best things about the Hemi is the sound. So I think more people would get behind this inline six if it just had a little bit meatier exhaust note. Maybe that's hard to do with just the, the 3 liters and the inline six configuration and everything, but dare I say I might even be okay with a little bit of piped in noise, as long as it matches the noise from the actual exhaust tuning. They could just deepen it a little bit and get it a little bit more growly maybe. This would be pretty cool. I feel like the Rebel that I drove sounded a little bit better because I remembered it a little more fondly. So, all that being said, wrapping up my thoughts here on the Ram 1500 Tungsten. This review is not going to get me much. It's not going to get me appreciation from Ram. It's not going to get me appreciation from anybody who spent $90,000 on this truck. Shout out to the 2nd Gen Raptor right there. It's probably not even going to give me a lot of views. But there's so much about reviewing cars, especially trucks, that just, it has an element of trust me, bro, from behind the wheel. There's not a satisfying truck feeling out of this Ram Tungsten that I desire when I drive a truck. And maybe I'm a little bit too old school. I'm sure there are people who feel differently, but I want my truck to feel satisfying, cool, and like an old pair of jeans. And I just really don't get that out of the Ram 1500, especially this Tungsten. Like I said, I kind of liked the big horn with its cloth seats and its V8. It was, a lot more affordable and just a little bit more honest and true. This truck feels the opposite of that. It just feels like, why am I spending all this money on this thing when I just don't? I'm ready to get rid of it. I don't really enjoy driving it. So I don't know. It's let me just manually adjust my steering column here on my $90,000 truck and put this on the Daily Motor leaderboard. Current leaders on the Daily Motor leaderboard: Kia K4, Tesla Model 3, and Toyota Sienna. We've got a few other full-size trucks on here as well. We've got Silverado EV and Silverado 1500. I guess that's it, isn't it? We drove the Toyota and the Ford, a few Fords last year. F-150 obviously being truck of the year, or vehicle of the year. Now, I'm kind of evaluating this somewhat just as the Ram 1500 in general, but also somewhat with the Tungsten right here. It reminds me, I think it's going to go right here, above the Outlander that we just had and below the Outback. Yeah, still like it a little better than the Silverado, but I mean, yeah, if you could walk out of the dealership maybe at 70 grand for this, as opposed to 94, you'd be doing a little better. But just get a more basic truck. Just get a $65,000 Ram and enjoy it. You don't need all this. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Ram 1500 in Bighorn, Tungsten, or Rebel trims, check the link below, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on. I'm also going to take this opportunity to make a new car ranking, and I'm going to rank them how I would personally rank all the cars that I've driven so far this year. So here we go. We've done 19 cars so far this year on the DM leaderboard, and I'll just go through and rank them just how much I liked them. Model 3 going above Kia K4, Sienna below K4, Lexus RX above Sienna, below K4. Chevy Bolt, liked that a lot. That's up. Would I have a Bolt over a K4? Yes, I would. Silverado EV, that's at the top. Now again, this isn't what I think is best. This is just price is no object, how much I liked the cars. Ioniq 9, liked that quite a bit. Kia Carnival, did not like that. Just drop that way down. Golf, I liked the no, I didn't like driving the Escalade very much. Outback, I kind of liked that. Ram, didn't like that. Outlander, Silverado, didn't really like it. CX-5, honestly, didn't really mind it. X3, oof, bad. Although the engine's nice. TX, yeah, I liked the plug-in hybrid aspect, so that can go up here. Crosstrek, liked that a decent bit. Sentra, still probably put Ram on the bottom. Didn't care for the engine in that Silverado. That's probably last. Let's see. I like the Silverado more than the Model 3. I like the Model 3 more than the Bolt. I like the Bolt more than the K4. I like the K4. Did I like it more than the Ioniq 9? Yeah. I think I liked the RX more than the Ioniq 9 too. Ioniq 9 more than Sienna. CX-5. Sienna versus CX-5. No, I think I liked the CX-5 more than the Sienna. I think I like the Outback more than the Sienna. Golf. Yeah, that was fun to drive around. Put that above the Outback. Crosstrek can go above the Outback. Escalade, Outlander. Didn't care for driving the Outlander around. Except, I mean, the audio system is obviously fantastic. The Carnival. Trying to remember the Sentra. Yeah, the Sentra is just really unredeeming. Alright, so this is my list right now for cars as I actually enjoyed them while I had them. So Silverado EV, Tesla Model 3, Chevy Bolt. Big surprise that EVs are all up at the top. They're great to drive. And then we've got Kia K4 and Lexus RX rounding out. So I'll try to keep both of these updated as I do car reviews for the rest of the year, and give us something to talk about at the end.